Hey guys, it's Ray from the Teach Better team, and we are live for our bi-weekly family check-in, which we get to do every other Sunday in our private group. And just special today, just because I wanted to, we are actually streaming to more than just our private Facebook group. We are streaming to our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our Twitter, and to Twitch because we're using StreamYard, so why not? So usually this is a live that we do every other Sunday, and we just take questions. We talk shop. It kind of serves as a space to kind of touch on anything that you're still thinking about wanting to be successful at this week, talking through some ideas that you might still be trying to think through, or hurdles you're striving to overcome. And we do this in our private group because we had a poll. I think this was now like a year ago. We put a poll in our group and we asked our group point blank. Over 4,000 educators were like, what can we do to better support you? And our group was giving us a lot of different ideas, all of which we've implemented. But one of the options that was voted on, I think was the third choice, was we really want a scheduled time that we know we can go be live in our group and just to talk shop in case there's questions or things come up. Hey, Adam, I see you're here. Awesome that you are joining us for our bi-weekly family check-in. Thanks for commenting. So the interesting part of all this is that when we said, okay, great, we'll go live every other Sunday as a centralized spot that we know will be every other Sunday together, we started using it and this group just exploded. This was a great avenue of good discussion. People would post questions and comments, and we just kind of talk about anything and everything. So there isn't necessarily a training that we have scheduled for right now, but if you're looking to talk about anything, this is a space that we could at least start the conversation or maybe find a solution for you. It's a good, safe space to bring your hurdles, maybe things you've been wondering. Everything's fair game, whether it be about the Teach Better team or something related to education. Feel free to post in the comments, and we'll try to the best of our ability to be brainstorming partners and finding the answer to your question. Now, when we started doing our daily drop-ins, which we also did every single day, Monday through Friday during COVID-19, we essentially did it March through May. We just concluded those daily drop-ins on Memorial Day weekend. So when we were doing these Sunday check-ins, they were kind of slow because we were already live every single morning, Monday through Friday. That Sunday just became like a hangout. And now that those daily drop-ins aren't happening anymore, these bi-weekly family check-ins are still going to continue because our team, the Teach Better team, really believes in being able to offer you a space to ask questions and talk shop and kind of come together as a family and get set with the right energy for the week. So no matter where you're watching right now, usually we only stream these in our private group. Right now, we're streaming these on our Facebook page, our private group, our YouTube channel, our Twitter page, and on Twitch. But if you have any comments, questions, or concerns that you want to talk shop in, I'm here until we decide that we're done for the night. So we could talk shop about a specific idea. You could ask a question about the team. I'm happy to try not to spill secrets, but who knows? It is a Sunday evening, so who knows? But this really is a space for you to utilize kind of kicking your week off strong. So I know a lot of us right now, hey, Olivia, I have an email in my inbox. I literally just drafted it to you, by the way, just telling you how much I appreciate you. So I'll be sending that later tonight, but I'm so thrilled to see you with us here in our video. I do have to say, it's been a very weird week, kind of concluding May, because I know a lot of teachers have kind of ended their school year. And then with this other wave of educators who actually still have quite some time in the classroom. And I know there's some people in the middle, but there really does seem to be two different groups that I've been coaching very recently. One is those educators that kind of finished out their year at the end of May. They kind of had this moment of reflection that we didn't end up being able to come together with our students. They put together really purposeful virtual celebrations, and we did the best we could. And then people like Livia, I see, hey, Mary, great to see you in here as well, who have more of their year left. I know a lot of teachers that I've been collaborating with recently. My inbox is full of educators that go to the end of June, and they're either still doing remote learning or they're actually beginning to transition back into the classroom, but in some sort of adapted way. And so they're still very much operating and wanting to be proactive for their students, day in, day out, supporting their students in their remote learning environment. And other educators are saying, okay, I'm going to take some time away. I'm going to enjoy a little bit of summer. But in the back of my mind, I'm also thinking of August. How am I going to welcome my students back? What if our schedule looks a little bit different because of COVID-19? And if that's the case, what are some ideas I can chew on? And I know we've had a lot of these conversations already in the free teacher webinar we're doing right now. That was a 6-week session we were doing. There were 12 sessions over 6 weeks. We're actually in our second to last week. Tomorrow, Mandy Freilich is in our 5th week, and she's focusing on educator mental health. So that will be really fun. We do a session on Monday that's more of like a teaching and instruction. And then we do a Q&A with the instructor on Friday. So it's been a really great format. We've heard really great feedback. Thank you to all of you listening who has been able to jump into that. We've covered a lot of different things, but no matter where you are in your transition of supporting students, educator mental health is really an important topic. So I hope if you haven't registered for that, you can actually get everything that you've even missed saved in our academy just by registering for free. So that's at teachbetter.com/webinar series. So that's been fun. But a lot of these topics of schools ending or still supporting students at a distance is continuously going on. A lot of these conversations are filling my inbox, I know. And as a team, we're still doing a lot of virtual trainings and workshops to support people. So this truly is a space to throw in any comments that you want. Tell me something that you're dealing with. Tell me something that you got to see today. Maybe you took some time off today. We can celebrate you for choosing to be active and present with your family rather than always constantly being on as an educator, focusing on your amazing students. But use this space however you'd like. We've been live for about 7 minutes, and the goal of this is that you get to lead it. So if you are listening to this on your computer, on your phone, feel free to throw your thoughts, comments, questions in the feed, and we'll get started. I love all the comments so far, so appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you for the TDI shout out. The teachers deserve it. Cover did come out today. Adam Welcome and I are very excited for that book to come out later this summer. It'll be like end of July-ish. We haven't released our date, but that's what we're thinking. But it was fun to kind of join in on a little celebration this morning, being able to launch the book cover. Adam approached me about Teachers Deserve It about a year ago, a little over a year ago now. It was February last year. And I could talk on this for hours, so feel free to tell me if you have questions, but I just didn't know what it was going to turn into. And I'm honored that today we got to expose the cover to all of our friends and family and amazing PLN. So thank you for the shout out there. Sorry, I have been done for a week. Yeah, Mary, I think a lot of us there, like I said, there's like 2 or 3 groups of educators right now, some who kind of finished, at the end of May. My last day with students was the 22nd of May, which seems like ages ago now. But then others go all the way to like the 22nd of June. So trying to find that balance of supporting both types of educators right now has been interesting for me. My first question is, are you still in school? Because it really changes your perspective. Talking to an educator and coaching them changes depending on if they're truly doing it here and now, or if they're trying to be proactive and think about August, because there's a lot of things that we want to be able to do right now that we're scrambling to put together. Whereas when you finally conclude the year and you're thinking about August, even if you only have 4 weeks for summer, I don't know what type of school system you're in, there are still some things that we can actually take time and purposefully think through and prepare, which is exciting. So it's always fun. I should have mentioned, by the way, I'm going to keep going through these comments. I apologize. But just so you all know, my name's Ray Hewart. I'm currently the Director of Training and Development for the Teach Better team. But I also am a full-time 6th grade math teacher. So I work at a middle school in Illinois. And it's been fun kind of being in the trenches by day with students and also getting to work with amazing educators by night, a lot of which are popping in here. So it's great to see everybody. Livia says, what site would you direct me to for great SEL activities? So, Livia, that's a great question. My first go-to with anything social and emotional learning, anything whole child, is actually Hans. I see that he's watching actually on Twitter, or he was a few minutes ago. The Apple, what do I call them? The Apple power couple is what I wanted to say. Hans Apple and Jennifer Apple are my go-to SEL people. Now, that's not to say that they wouldn't direct me to like thousands of other resources. But what I really like about them is that they don't see SEL as fluff, and they truly look at SEL as a necessary integration that we need to do in all content areas. And they're extremely research-based, which I really need, because I don't just want you to point to me to an activity or a great book that tells me this like overarching philosophy. I need someone who can tell me, yeah, the overarching philosophy, where I'm headed, but how to actually do it, how to actually implement it, and how to make it sustainable. That's something I really hold true, and I'm kind of on my soapbox here. But for those of you that know me, I really believe in things working all the time. And so I don't really ever believe in like one-time events. Like if there's a purpose for a one-time event and it serves that purpose, I want to make sure that purpose is integrated in every other moment of the year, every other moment of learning. And something I really admire about Hans and Jennifer Apple and the work they're doing is that they really believe in that too. So I don't necessarily know where I would go in terms of directing you to SEL activities, but I would absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, direct you to Hans and Jennifer Apple. Their last name is Appel, and they're with Award-Winning Culture. And I would tell you that I would like direct message them. I mean, you should go to their website. That's like awardwinningculture.com. But honestly, if you direct message Hans or Jennifer, they can absolutely redirect you somewhere. I'm sure you're familiar with Hans. Hans and Jennifer actually just led the week session in our free teacher webinar series. But Hans also just published a book that came out, I want like 2 weeks ago on the 22nd of May. So they're doing a lot of work with SEL and whole child. But again, that's just kind of my go-to. So great question with that. Really stoked to see all of you commenting. Good to have you here. Brian says, played golf today. It was nice for a few hours without seeing anything news related. Brian, I really understand that. We just had an Instagram post recently today that was like, hey, this is your reminder to like stop working. And like, granted, that posted, I saw it on Instagram like an hour before this live video. So there was some humor there. But I mean, like today, for example, I totally took like an hour and a half nap outside in the sun. It seemed like the laziest thing I've done in a week, but it was so amazing just to like be outside. I had my phone inside. I was listening to a podcast that I really, really enjoy. And I was just sitting in the sun, and I just like kept napping and waking up a little bit and napping again. And yes, playing golf is much more of a athletic good choice, but time away from news related content, time away from distractions, time away from social media is important. So I'm proud of you for playing golf. Hope it went well. I don't really play golf, but I hope you killed it. Yeah. Olivia says, yes, so excited for you too about the book. Thank you so much. So appreciate that. Looks like Nicole's commenting last day for students is 6/16, so June 16th, and last teacher day is June 18th. Yeah, so a lot of educators are still in the trenches, which is an amazing place to be. Please let me know if you have specific questions on this, or if you're an educator thinking about August that you have questions on, feel free to let me know. Brian says, we're using Freckle for intervention groups. Great. So he's giving some strategies. Have you used it? I have not. I've heard of it though. Using Freckle for intervention groups this upcoming year is what his comment was. And my answer is I am aware of it, but I have not personally used it. I know it's a math program. If you ever want to talk specifics on that, let me know. And then I see a comment here that somebody had Hans' book arrive today. That's so exciting. I've been seeing a lot of pictures of people holding up their award-winning culture book. Like that's kind of the thing to do these days when you grab a book that, you know, is either by a friend or someone in your PLN and it arrives in your mailbox, you like, you know, take a picture with it. And I've been very jealous because I do not have my copy yet. I am getting one. It's in the mail, but I definitely am waiting to take my selfie with that beautiful red book of award-winning culture. I won't lie. I had a sneak peek. I got to actually read it before it came out, and I was able to kind of write a little bit of an endorsement for it because it's so powerful. And I love how it's written. It's extremely well done. And like I said before, it does so much more. It's full of so many impactful stories. But in my mind, what I really loved is that those inspirational stories were then backed up with things that you can go do right now to make those stories happen in your classroom. And that's what I need in my books. I love the beach books where you can just kind of soak in happiness. And I do love those. But I need a little bit of like tactical takeaway. I need some empowerment. I need some action items. And for me, that's what this offered. So I'm thrilled. It looks like Lainey, I'm thrilled that you got that book. Olivia says, yes, love Hans and Jen. Agree with you, Ray. All of my SEL activities is done with purpose for building relationships and community. Yeah, Liv, it's interesting. I know a lot of people in here are very familiar with the team. One of the things the team does is training with the Teach Further model. And I'm biased. I am just, we have a course. You can go find out that like I'm so biased in this area. But the Teach Further model emerged because we wanted to find a way for you to infuse purpose into every single element of your content. And it works perfectly with then also infusing SEL or mastery learning or anything else that you're thinking of. But with that sentence of like, done with purpose for building relationships and community, like I couldn't agree more with the importance of teachers really considering how they are building relationships and community within their classrooms, within their schools, and within their outside like community, the town as well. And so Hans and Jen do amazing work in that area. So important. Excited to start reading it soon. So exciting. So appreciate all your comments so far. Again, we've been live for 16 minutes. My name's Ray Hewart, and truly, we are live right now for our biweekly family check-in. We only usually go live for our biweekly family check-in in our private group because it's supposed to serve the purpose of kind of being a brainstorming space for you to kick off your week with the right energy. Any ideas that you're still struggling with, you're not quite sure how you want to implement something. Maybe it's a student that you don't feel like you're serving and you just want some brainstorming ideas on what you can do. Maybe you're struggling with something outside of that you want to get some conversation with. Also, if you are connected to the Teach Better team and you just can't keep up with all the things going on with the team, this is a space where you can ask questions, and I'll try and answer. I have a lot of secrets, just so you know, because June is like killing me right now looking at all the things the team is doing. So you could ask me some things and I will maybe give you hints, but the point is that I can't spill any secrets, but I do really want to get you answers, and this is the space to do it. So at any point throughout this time, feel free to throw a comment in whatever stream you're listening on. We're currently streaming in our private Facebook group, which is normally where we stream every other Sunday for our biweekly family check-in. We're also streaming on our Facebook page. We are streaming on our YouTube channel, the Teach Better team, and we're also streaming on Twitch and Twitter. We love our Twitter family. So it's just fun to kind of bring this to a different network and see if we can help in any way. I do see that Jonathan commented, how do you get into the private group? Great question. Jonathan, you can get in the private group by actually going to teachbettergroup.com. It's that easy. You can, of course, go to Facebook and search Teach Better Team, and you can join the over 4,000 educators that are in there. There's everyone in there like is kind of doing their own thing. Everybody has their own projects, own questions they're working on. There's a lot of conversation around mastery learning. I was actually going to pull up our private group feed and see if there was any questions in there that I could answer that were recently asked, because that's also something I like to do for our biweekly family check-in, is kind of go through the activity that's gone on in the group and see if there's anything else we can touch on. But if you don't want to just search it outright, go to teachbettergroup.com and it'll redirect you there, which is super nice. Another comment here. What's one of your go-to fun activities for building relationships? So if you were to return to school in June, what's one activity you would do? Oh my God, that's such a good question. There are so many amazing, like, fun activities for building relationships. And I know whatever one I tell you right now, I'm going to think of like 5 more I wish I would have told you like in an hour, which is fine because Livia, I owe you an email anyway. So if I think of any more, I'll throw them in that email. Go to activity. So let me think. I love minute to win it games. I think those are so good. I think those really work to break the ice. And one of my favorite things we do in our school that I work in is that our students are sorted into houses, kind of like Hogwarts houses. I don't know if you're connected to the Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta, but they do a house system. And so when I think about like go-to fun activities, so many of the fun activities I did were like in our house headquarter meetings, where the students that were sorted into, the best house obviously was the house that I was in, El Turismo. And we would do so many things there. But any activity I think that got students moving was an easy go-to. Some of my favorites activities got students building, which I also really love. I like anything with like manipulating or cutting or any sort of construction is so valuable. I'm also a huge advocate for like silly games that shouldn't be entertaining, but are because you're doing them in class. So, all right, so I'm a middle school math teacher, so I'm speaking from that perspective. But so often when we just need like a brain break in our classroom, or you're trying to set the tone for something, I take one of our buckets, like one of our crates, and I put it at one end of the room, and we stack all of our flexible seating up. I don't know if you've ever seen my classroom, but my classroom's full of flexible seating, and it folds up really well. I actually have a ton of information on flexible seating. I love it, but I can literally like deconstruct my classroom into like like a 4 feet by 4 feet box. Like it's, oh my God, so fun. So I have the whole room, whole space. It's beautiful. And we do like crazy, like basketball tournaments, whether it's shooting paper or shooting balls or whatever, but like seeing how far we can get and cheering each other on. And I've done this for a lot of different review activities, but silly things like that where you can build rapport are always great go-to. So super fun. I'm sure you'll think of a lot, Livia, but hopefully that helps a little bit get you thinking of wanting students to get moving, wanting students to like touch things. I like the little ones where, oh my God, wait. Okay, I have another one. One of my favorite things to do, I call fishbowl. I have no idea what the real name is. Like you're a teacher, so you like make up names to games. One of my favorite things to do is you play fishbowl. My house played it all the time. So you give students 2 to 3 pieces of paper. Depending on how big your class size is, you're going to want to think about this game can either be really long or really short. So just think about your class size. I usually in a 30 student classroom would give every student like 2 pieces of paper, whatever. And it's not full pieces. They're like little strips, right? And they have to write a person, place, or thing, some sort of noun, common knowledge noun on the piece of paper. Dog, cat, light, water bottle, whatever you want. And then give them some examples, but tell them they can't use it. So I always say like elephant, but now you can't use that one, right? And they write it down. They have to have 2 different words. So you crumple it up and you put it in some sort of bucket or bowl. And you end up having like all these different words, right, in the bowl. And the first round, you split the students into 2 teams, and it's just like, what's that game? Like catchphrase. So you look at the word, and you're just describing it without saying the word on the sheet, right? Very easy. You give them 30 seconds, they guess, and you go until the bowl is empty. Okay, that's fine. So then all the words go back in the bowl. And the next one is only charades. So you've already heard the words and their teams stay the same, but now you have to act them out. So you can't talk at all. So it's helpful that you've heard the words because you know the type of things that are in there, but it's hysterical. You give them 30 seconds. They try and get through as much as they can. And then you switch teams and you go through all the words are done. And then you put them back in the bowl. Third round, the students can only say 1 word to describe the word, and it can't be the word. So if I had the word dog, this would be at the 3rd round. So I've already acted out the dog. They've already guessed the dog when I was describing it as fluffy and 4-legged and all these things. So now it's my round, and I can say Harvey. Well, my students would know Harvey's my dog's name. So that's the only word I can say. I have to keep my mouth shut, and they have to guess dog, and then, whatever. Go all the way, words come out, put the words back in. If you want to do a 4th round, and again, these are so many giggles, you can only make a sound, and it can't be a sound that you would normally spell out. So like woof is not really a sound. We've had so many debates on this as students, but anyway, you can really extend this game to be as long or as short as you want. But it's full of giggles. You get students working together, and usually I, allow students to choose to, go up and play and whatever. So that's another one I really enjoy, and it's so easy. There's no prep work. You just need a piece of paper that you can rip up into pieces and a pen or pencil, and that's it, and a bowl. So it'll be good. Anyway, sorry, I'm blabbing on, but that was a great question, and I kind of reminisced at this moment of thinking of my students. So there you go. That's what happens when you get a teacher reminiscing on the fun of the year. Mary says, love that question, Livia. As a special ed teacher with 800 kids, I've learned by being on quarantine that I need to build stronger relationships with younger kids sooner. That's totally true, Mary. We do our best to build relationships, and it was so hard while we were in isolation, shelter in place, and schools were closed. So give yourself a little break. But yes, absolutely agree that that's important. Late getting here, running errands. Brian, I'm so glad you're here. Feel free to throw any questions in here. Again, I'm going to go through these comments. I'm sorry I've missed so many so far. But just as a reminder, we're live for our biweekly family check-in. So feel free to throw any comments you want in here, and I'll try and answer them, I guess. We're just, this is a safe space to talk shop. So let us know if you have any follow-up questions that you want to talk about. There's nothing planned. We're just going to hang out. Brian, we're really glad you're here. Jonathan says, I have the Teach Better book, but it's sitting on my shelf. I'm reading it next, and then I'm so excited for TDI. Jonathan, I'm so thrilled that you're excited for Teachers Deserve It. Hopefully it does also join your bookshelf very soon when it comes out later this summer. Brian says, looking forward to the grid seminar later this month, starting to build my first grid for Algebra 1. That is so exciting. Yes, we do have a new webinar series that starts this week. It actually starts Tuesday, and it's weird because it actually overlaps with our current webinar series. So we have a free teacher webinar series that we have over like 600 educators that are registered for, that go on Mondays and Fridays, and it goes for 6 weeks. And so we're just starting our 5th week. So we have 2 more weeks left of that session. And I think this week is on educator mental health. And the last week is Chad and I talking about like how we're going to come back stronger in August. If you want to register for that, I did mention that's just teachbetter.com/webinar series. And again, it's free, but you can get all the content that we've already gone over. So even if you're catching it now, that might be something you want to consider. But like Jonathan had mentioned, like Brian had mentioned, we do have a new one starting that will be Tuesdays and Thursdays the entire month of June. That's essentially going to be a grid method workshop. So for those of you that don't know, I'll go through this quick, but the Teach Better team does workshops with school districts where we will like come in and do a 2-day workshop with teachers. And then we like join you in your classroom like 10 times throughout the year to help support you in implementing ideas like mastery learning or SEL work or whole child work or community engagement, whatever it is. That's kind of like the model we use. And we've had so many people, especially in our virtual PLN, that have said, hey, if my district isn't bringing you in for a workshop, can I still get training? And we tried for a really long time to provide, training like this where we're talking about things or whatever. But the reality is that the fact that we've set aside time, that we're truly going to go through an entire 2-day workshop and give you really personalized feedback and do all the training, I think will be super fun. We've never done it before, so it'll be cool. And you can actually register for that at teachbetter.com/grid webinar. So that's specific to our grid method mastery framework that we do a lot of training for. Chad Ostrowski is the creator. He'll be facilitating that webinar, and he'll be great because, it's going to allow you to actually use a grid as the educator. You're going to learn how to make a grid through a grid. And then you'll also have the creator himself there answering questions, which will be awesome. So that's super cool. Brian, I'm thrilled that you're registered for that. Let me know if I can do anything to help you. Olivia says, oh, love the basketball idea. I have some kids that love basketball. Good. So glad. That's awesome. Thanks for spilling all your secrets. I don't know if these are secrets. And love fishbowl idea plus the rounds. Can't wait to try this with them. So fun. Yeah, it's such a silly game. But I used to play it with my friends, like in college. Like it wasn't even something that I've seen done in schools. But I've always enjoyed it. It's very fun. And you don't need to have like a catchphrase thing. You just make it. And I like that there are multiple rounds because it forces students to pay attention because they're going to use the words again in future rounds, which is fun. Great to see people in here. This says, Hi, Ray. Excited to submit my first proposal to Teach Better team. Yes, as a reminder, the Teach Better conference, the proposals close tonight. I actually don't know when they close, but they close tonight. And if you didn't submit your proposal, leave this live video. Go do that. You can find out details at teachbetterconference.com. And I will tell you, if you're still live with us right now, there is a surprise coming in June. It'll be announced in June. There'll be a surprise coming in July related to that conference that we are very excited about. So the Teach Better conference, if you haven't joined us before, in 2020 is actually October 2nd and 3rd. So it's a Friday, Saturday. We do a networking event Thursday night, and then we all get together Friday and do a networking event Friday night. And then we all get together Saturday. We do a Saturday night networking. So it's an amazing, I think out of the entire Thursday through Sunday last year, it was in November. I think I got 8 hours of sleep total the entire 4 or 5 days. It was so fun. But it's crazy that proposals are already closing for 2020. So if you want to present, submit your proposal. Truly, I adore you, but leave this video. It's not worth it. Go submit your session. And you can go to teachbetterconference.com for that. And yeah, hopefully you can join the lineup. We've had amazing people that are a part of our lineup. Dr. Camilla Jones, CJ Reynolds, Sarah Thomas, Mandy Freilich, Matt Miller, obviously everybody from the Teach Better team, Rochelle Danae Poth. I mean, it's endless. We have amazing, amazing people that have already committed to joining our event, whether they're being, featured speaker or keynoting. It's going to be very exciting. And we're thrilled to add you, hopefully, to our lineup because that's the point. And remember, if you present, you get free registration, which all conferences should have, in my opinion. I mean, whatever. So anyway, it at least saves you some money if you present. And there's a ton of different sessions you can do. You can do a 15 to 20 minute session, or you could do a 90-minute session. So just pick whatever works best for you. So appreciate, I love that you put in here. It ends at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So good to know. Thank you for putting that in there. You're amazing. And let me know, by the way, we're doing our bi-weekly family check-in so far. We've been live for 31 minutes. If you have questions, feel free to throw them in here. Happy to answer questions. Happy to try and not spill secrets, but there's a lot going on with the team. And sometimes I forget what I'm supposed to be talking about. So thrilled to have you all in here, and always appreciate when you guys jump in with the information I don't have, like when Teach Better conference session proposals close tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time, apparently, which is great. All right, Jonathan just commented, what do the house systems at we do the house systems at our school, which is broken down into families for each teacher in our building. We have kids from K4 that I need ideas for when we meet once a week. Great question, Jonathan. I love the house system. And I'm not sure how you do your time together, but, we really enjoy that it's family time. It's our house headquarters meeting. So we meet as an Alturismo family. We do it differently in our building, but it's very similar to yours where you have a set group of students that you meet with. We actually get to meet every day. It looks like you're meeting once a week. I love this it's the same idea as advisory in the middle school model. I know this is weird because we already talked about it, Jonathan, but Hans's book, the award-winning culture book that I know we talked about before, actually has a lot of different ideas of things you could do that wouldn't just be a one-hit wonder lesson on Wednesday, but could be something that your house worked on over a series of time and maybe contributed to your school. So it just might be something you consider. That book might be enough of a resource to kind of get you thinking, but definitely the first few weeks, it's a lot of that icebreaker. It's a lot of talking about the magic of houses. We talk a lot about it. It's just so special and, what's it called? I don't mean holy, but it's very sacred. Sacred is what I needed. It's a very sacred tradition that we really build it up to be. So especially for the first few weeks of houses, I would find ways to get students talking, find ways to talk about the magic of houses. I love bringing my alumni back and kind of having them share the power of being in the Alturismo house. So there's a lot of different things you can do, but I'm thrilled that you're doing it. Love the mug. Thanks. Gotta love a good Starbucks mug, right? It's cute. Classic, right? I don't know where you can get, this is a vintage. I don't know where you get this one, but it was in my shelf. So it is what it is. All right. Brian, great question. And I'm not necessarily knowing how much I can share this. Jonathan, real quick. The book I was talking about was Award-Winning Culture. Award-Winning Culture by Hans Appel. It just came out 2 weeks ago, and we actually talked about him earlier in this video. I don't know if you were live with us or not, but Award-Winning Culture might be a good resource for you. So Brian says, are there contingencies for the Teach Better conference that it might go virtual? What city is it held in? So Brian, you can get all the details for Teach Better Conference at teachbetterconference.com. You can also go to teachbetter.com, and there's like a conference tab at the very top. You just click it and it'll redirect you there. It shows all the details for the proposal submission. It shows all the featured speakers that we have so far. It shows the location, everything else. But I can tell you it's in Akron, Ohio. And so we'll be in Akron, Ohio. It's in a beautiful building that I think it's the STEM Academy, Akron STEM Academy, I think is what it's called. I apologize if I got that wrong. But it's a beautiful facility. It actually used to be the Innovation Museum, which is super cool. And we have a lot of good things planned. We are obviously very much staying up to speed on what's going on around the world, and we will make the decision on whether we will go virtual or not as soon as possible. To be completely transparent, which I don't know that we're even publicizing really, we'll probably make that call sometime in July. Which we are trying to be really respectful of people that are making accommodations. I know that it's a very challenging time, so we have not decided to go virtual at this point in time, but of course we will keep you updated over the next few months to make sure that everybody is able to be supported and get what they need. But hopefully in the most perfect world, all of this clears up and we get to spend 4 magical days together in Akron, Ohio. We would love it, especially featuring the amazing people that have already committed to joining the Teach Better conference, and hopefully all of you submitting your proposal, being a featured speaker with us as well. So it's very exciting. Megan popped in. She says, I just listened to the podcast extra with Hans. Good stuff. Oh, it's so fun. Yeah, he's a great speaker. I don't know if you're listening to his podcast. Like Hans and Jennifer Appel have award-winning podcast, which I am addicted to. I have a problem because they have not released a new episode. Wait, maybe one came out today. Hold on. This would change my day today if I got an update. They totally did. Episode 13 is out. Look at that. Okay, so I won't lie. Now I almost feel like I need to end this live video because I've been waiting for episode 13 to come out. But they just created a podcast, and so you should go listen to it. It's called Award-Winning Culture Podcast, just like everything else they do. It's always award-winning culture. But I've loved it. They're like quick 10 to 12-minute episodes, super good. But Hans was also on like the Teach Better Talk podcast. I don't know if you guys listen to Jeff and I on Teach Better Talk podcast. But Hans has literally been featured everywhere. He was on Dave Schmidt's podcast a few weeks ago. So I'm glad that you enjoyed him. John says, thank you, gotta run. When is the Teach Better Twitter chat, as I assume you're asking? The Teach Better Twitter chat is #MasteryChat. Mastery Chat happens every Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And you can get more information on that at teachbetter.com/masterychat. That's always a good spot to go. Olivia says, I would so love to go to the conference, but concerned about COVID. I totally understand that. And I think that you are not alone in that. We are going to try and do as much as humanly possible to make sure that we're making the right decisions for all of you, because obviously you are our priority. But at least I'm thrilled that you really would have loved to go, because the reality is it was so much fun last year. And hopefully if you don't come this year, come next year or something else. So we'll figure it out. Olivia, I will tell you, because I feel like we're friends. The announcement that we're announcing in June that will take place in July, you should be a part of. That's what I'm going to say. So keep your eyes out, because there will be an announcement about the Teach Better conference coming in June. Around the second week of June is when we'll be talking about it. This is my nudge, second week of June. Maybe around the Wednesday-ish, right? Okay, there you go. We'll be telling you something about July that you have to be a part of. Either way. So just so you know. Brian says, thank you. Need to think about personal days off. not ready to be a speaker at this size conference, still doing local conferences on SBG. Brian, totally understand, but don't let the Teach Better conference intimidate you. It is, I don't know if I'm I don't want to talk about the conference too much. I don't know how interested you guys are, but the Teach Better conference, we keep very small. That's why we sell out. I mean, it's intentional. Like we keep it to like less than 300 people. It's like 300 to 400 people at most. We really want that intimate setting. We want to be able, our mindset, like as a team, is that Jeff, Chad, and I, in addition to the other 13 people on our team, like want to have one-on-one conversations with every single person at the conference. So we keep it small to make sure that we can. We really value the network and the family of that event. So don't be intimidated by the size of the conference. It's not very big. And that's very intentional. We don't want it to be big. We'd rather do multiple conferences than one big one. So keep that in mind. And then, I don't know, SBG is a great topic. Even if you presented, we have like little TED Talks, like little 20-minute sessions. You could totally do like a little TED Talk on SBG. Give people food for thought. That's like one of my favorite ideas is discussing grading. And I think that you could have a really great discussion with an amazing group on SBG. So I don't know, Brian, maybe you should go submit a proposal before midnight. I think you should go do that. Livia says, you're so funny, Ray. I have listened to half of Hans and Jen's podcast so far, and they're great. Love listening to their conversations. Yeah, Hans and Jen's podcast is literally like being with them when they're on a walk with their dog Maya. We are both, dog lovers. So it's just fun that they get to have these really great conversations because they're both very passionate educators. And so I love that they're like recording them and putting them out as podcast episodes because I really do believe that when I'm listening, I was listening the other day on my porch, it feels like they're like sitting in front of me, like just talking. And I really love that like humanizing approach that they take, which is super cool. So yes, episode 13's out. So go enjoy it. Awesome. Jonathan says, thanks again. Can't wait to hear Livia. Livia says, so love your philosophy and keeping it small and intimate. Yeah, I think that's something we really value on the team as a whole. Like, I don't mean to like be foolish with this, but like we really above all, me personally, but I think this is why I love the team so much. We really believe in like these personal connections. Like Livia, for example, like I could tell you, and not to be creepy, I could tell you everything you've been involved in for the past few weeks. And it's not because I'm a stalker. It's because I really think that you're doing so many awesome things. And when you popped in as a new face in our network, like I took notice because you're important and you have great ideas and you ask amazing questions. And I love that I've seen you not only in webinars, but also live videos, and you sent me an email. Like these are all things that we really value, and our network will never be large enough that we can't make that feeling still the case on the team. The entire team really believes in this approach. So, the conference has been a constant conversation. Yeah, because of COVID-19, but really, we sold out last year. We had conversations around like, do we double it in size? And the reality is like, we don't want to because we really want to build a family. And, you can only build a family with so many people at once. And like one of my favorite things was our networking events last year at the Teach Better conference for 2019. We like packed places. We were thinking like, 30 to 40 people will show up. The conference only had about 200 people at it. So it was like, I don't know, like 250. Jeff's going to know the thing and I'm going to have said it wrong. But the point is like, it was only a few hundred people. And we were thinking, we'll have like 4 or 5 networking events and like 20 or 30 people will come and it'll be fine. And there were hundreds of people. Like the majority of the conference showed up to grab a beer and have dinner. And that was the mindset. It was like, we want you to watch Dave Burgess or Adam Welcome speak. We want you to read his books. We want you to just be in awe learning with him. And then we want you to go grab a beer with him and grab dinner and like actually talk to these people because they're knowledgeable humans that like want connections with other people as well. And that was one of my favorite things was being able to have these like fun, intimate conversations with people that I had known virtually, but then got to meet in real life. And that was as cool for me as it was for everyone else, I hope. So I don't know. It's just something I really value. So it's awesome. Yes, actually makes me jealous. I didn't marry a teacher, right? I think we messed up here. I'm just saying Hans and Jen did it right. Technically, Hans is a counselor, but I have learned he's a teacher for sure. But you're right. Like I need to be with someone I can talk shop with. Maybe we could just be like, like you have like a work wife, like Livia, we'll just talk shop all the time. It'll be fine. Going to leave and look at submitting a proposal. I don't know who posted that because it was in our private Facebook group and it's not showing up here, but I'm so glad that somebody just posted that because it's true. It closes tonight and you should go submit a proposal. Thank you, Ray. I so appreciate you and the team. You just touched, come on, you're awesome. We appreciate it. All right, I've been live for 45 minutes. I know we still have people actively watching. If you have any other questions that you want me to answer or talk through or do anything with, if you have any questions for me, any questions for the team, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I don't know what you guys have planned, but I spent some wonderful time in the sun earlier today, and now I need to go fold laundry, which is, so romantic. So I'm going to go take care of that. So really, if you have any great questions, you're saving me from having to do that right away. I love Livia. You just agreed to be my work wife. That's all I really needed. And Brian says his wife is a middle school math teacher. There you go. So you have someone to talk shop with. I like this. This is good. We all need people to talk shop with. So it's always fun. Any final questions, feel free to post them here. I will just tell you as a reminder, we have a ton going on with the team, and especially in June, unfortunately and fortunately, but unfortunately, we have a lot coming out this month. And I say that I kind of run a lot of the marketing part of the team. So I'm just like very aware of a lot that we have launching this June. So please keep your eyes out. We obviously are going to continue the free teacher webinar series that we have going on that I've mentioned before. We also have the Grid Method webinar series that's starting on Tuesday. We have some very fun things coming the second week of June that we'll be announcing, and a lot of things launching later this month and into June. And so whether you're an educator who's just looking to read a blog, we publish a blog every single day at teachbetter.com, a podcast. We have that as well for Teach Better Talk and Award-Winning Culture Podcasts are both a part of our podcasting network. We have amazing speakers. Oh my God, amazing speakers in our speakers network. If you're just looking for new friends to follow or a new educator to learn from, please stop there. There are amazing people there. But just know that if you're looking for something, keep us updated. We'd love to help in any way humanly possible to support you. And in addition, remind you that while you should be enjoying all this great stuff, we also want you to relax and take time for yourself and give yourself grace because it has been quite an adventure the past few weeks. And while we are here to support you, we're also here to remind you to take time off. So after this video, after we've been live for 50 minutes all together, streaming on both Facebook page and group and our YouTube channel and our Twitter and Twitch, this is a reminder to turn off your computer after this and go relax for the day. I love these comments. Thank you for adding these in. Thank you so much today. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I have no more questions for now. No problem. Appreciate it. Another comment here says, you guys rock great. Thanks for all you do. Absolutely. And so impressive to hear all the amazing things you're doing to support teachers around the world. I love it. The team works tirelessly to make all these things happen. So we have an amazing group of educators, a lot of you included, that just continue to fuel us to do as much as humanly possible. So keep us in mind. I will tell you to keep your eyes out for June. And if you have any other questions, we are always here. Feel free to DM us, direct message us, and we'll be here if you need anything. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Sunday. I'm going to go fold laundry and watch Grey's Anatomy, and we will see you later this week. Bye, guys.